What is going on, everybody? Energy in the house. We're bringing it. Hard Passports podcast. We're live. Ren Breezy in the house. What's going on, brother?
What is up, my friend? What a great time to be alive.
You know, we're going to get so much. We have so much shit to talk about. Who knows how long it's going to take? Who knows where we're going to go? But this is going to be awesome. We were like in the buildup of this. We're sitting there talking, and we didn't want to talk. Like, we sat there for a second. I was like, we're just going to be quiet for 10 minutes just so we can get all our thoughts out in real time for the first time so we hear each other what we think. But, oh, my goodness gracious, what is going on in the sports world? We have March Madness. We have NFL free agency. We have baseball free agency. Baseball coming back. Shit's fucking going nuts. And it's 20 minutes before we went live here. Davante Adams just got traded to the Raiders, bro.
Wild.
Wild,
bro.
What's your first thoughts on this?
This is what happens. So the actual reports for Aaron Rodgers' contract became official this week. Bro, my man's going to be making $59 million in 2023.
I'm telling you, people trying to play like he was going to get a pay cut, bro.
Yeah. So this is the stuff with Aaron Rodgers that just pisses me off. Is the initial reports when he first came out and said he was going to re-sign with the Packers, all the reports were 4-year, $200 million deal, $50 million a year. And he came out and was like, the numbers are false. Everything you're hearing's wrong. Those numbers aren't right. I'm going to be signing a deal that's more team friendly. And then the numbers come out and it's 3 years, $150 million. So it still equals out to $50 million a year, the exact same. But this year it's, team friendly. I'm only going to take $41 million of the $200 million salary cap. So team friendly. This is what happens when you have a quarterback that eats away at literally a fifth of the salary cap. Mm-hmm. You lose players in other positions. They had to let Zadarius Smith go. He's gone. And now you have to trade his only receiver. His only actual pass-catching weapon is now gone because
they were trying to tag him. They tried
to tag him. He said no. And now he's out, and it's wild to me. It's wild to me. And now Aaron Rodgers has to be sitting there. And in my mind, I'm like, Aaron Rodgers is probably pissed off, but he's not. He's not mad. He's sitting there, and he's just like, I got paid. I got what I wanted. Because all those reports last year, when he first started this whole I might leave Green Bay bullshit, was because they don't draft anybody in the first round. Well, guess what? Davante Adams is the best wide receiver in the league. He wasn't drafted in the first round, but he was the best wide receiver in the league. And now he's gone. And now the Packers' decline. We talked about this last time we went live. The Packers' decline is going to be swift, and it's going to be drastic.
I don't understand why they signed Aaron Rodgers. They're not going to have a team. They're going to have Aaron Rodgers and a bunch of bums.
So they get 2 first-round picks out of it. And, I mean, that's great. If they had let Aaron Rodgers walk, then that is a great move. But you are in win this year mode. And you just traded the best wide receiver in football. How in the world is that win now? How is that a win now move?
It's not. It's not. Like you said, you get whatever you can for this guy. You move on. You see if Jordan Love's even worth anything. You just completely built, but nope. They had to just hold on. They had to just grip on tight, hold on to the skirts of Aaron Rodgers. And now look, now he doesn't have his Robin. And I am hating to see what this team's going to look like without this dude.
I mean,
like, Davante Adams puts up like 2 bills a game, multiple touchdowns. He is insane.
He's that dude. And now he's gone. And I just can't wait. I can't wait until next offseason. Let's say the Packers go 8-9 next year.
And then what?
And then what's Aaron Rodgers going to say? Is he going to try and back out of a $59 million deal? No. He's just going to sit there and Scrooge McDuck himself through all the gold in the world. Dude, I cannot stand that man and how he handles his business. It's insane to me, man. They just traded away Devontae Adams. And now the Raiders, dude, the Raiders, oof. Watch out, man. The Raiders.
That division's nuts.
All those teams in that division were going crazy. Like, we'll talk about some of the moves here in a little bit, but the entire AFC West was going nuts, and everybody was kind of starting to write the Raiders off a little bit.
Maybe they should be a seller.
And then Chandler Jones, Devontae Adams, back-to-back days.
Boom.
They're back. That division is by far the best in football now. And that's 4 really, really good teams.
Only 3 of them can make it.
Yeah, one of those teams will not be a playoff team.
So, yeah, I don't know. And they're going to eat each other alive a lot, I think. That division, their records aren't going to show how really good those football teams are. They have to stay healthy, of course, at any team in football. But, man, oh, man, respect to the Raiders. They're coming off a playoff year. They just moved to Vegas. They have all that hype around that stadium. They're still trying to stick it out. And, I mean, go out and get you a Devontae Adams. You can't ask for anything else if you're Carr. So,
I mean, that to me, that's the biggest thing now is the Raiders have kind of finally showed that they are going to move forward with Derek Carr. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no controversy this year so far that I've seen about them moving on from Derek Carr. Mm-hmm. And then they go and get you the best wide receiver in the league. So now Derek Carr, now you have to be that guy that the Raiders were wanting you to be for all those years. Now you don't have the excuse of your best wide receiver being Zay Jones.
I like Derek Carr. I don't know if he's that good. I think he's a good player. He's not great. We'll see how this all shakes out. If you're ranking the quarterbacks in this division,
he's the worst one in the division. But
right. I mean, that's still tough. I mean, it's tough. But we'll see. It's going to be nuts. We have so much stuff to get to here. Of course, we have March Madness going on right now. That shit's going crazy. Of course, the 12-5 is winning right now. New Mexico State's beating UConn. 12-5 went earlier. My Iowa Hawkeyes, they lost to Richmond. They lost. And I've actually been watching a little bit of it today. It's been crazy. Soccer, they had a guy run on the field and chain himself up to the goalpost. So they had like a 20-minute delay in the game, mid-game.
Beautiful.
He zip-tied himself to the goalpost. So that was pretty wild. Also saw a video of a soccer player getting the ball. The player kicks the ball into the player's head, knocks him out unconscious. And his lump body falls into the player, snaps the dude's leg in two, and the guy that got knocked out unconscious gets a red card. It was a wild scene. But yes, craziness in sports. Of course, I guess we got a lot of baseball to talk about, and I kind of want to just zone in on that later. Well, since we started with the NFL stuff, I guess we can stay there. And I guess we'll stay with wide receivers. Rams adding Allen Robinson. Sorry.
What's up, Apollo? Welcome to the show, bud.
I'm going to put you in the crate if you don't stop. Come on, get down. Get down.
Look at him.
Get down. Needs to get brushed here. Let's say it's the mange. But Allen Robinson goes to the Rams. The Rams are just continuously going for it.
I love the mindset.
Dude, Allen Robinson is a stud.
I love the mindset.
I think Allen Robinson, at this point in his career, is better than Odell. And you saw what they got out of Odell. And they're talking about bringing Odell back.
There's no way. There's no way they bring back Odell. Like, I know they're talking about it. You can talk about a lot of things. There's just no way they bring back Odell Beckham to go with those other three guys, unless Robert Woods is getting cut or something that we don't know about. So I don't understand
good players,
how that works. Yeah, no, I mean, but because the Rams are smart with their money, they understand. Like they go get guys that like Allen Robinson probably. You got 3 years, 45. It's basically a 2-year deal, 15 million a year. With they can basically cut him after the second year. Had an off year, didn't really have the year I think a lot of us expected, but then again he had Justin Fields throwing him the ball. So not going to be great for any wide receiver in that area.
Oh, Matt Beard in the house. Shout out.
So, but I love it. I love the mentality that the Rams go in with. Every chance they get, they look for difference-making football players, and that's why they've been so good for the last couple of years, and that's why they just won a Super Bowl. So, whatever happens to Odell, I don't foresee it being in Los Angeles, coming off of a torn ACL in the Super Bowl. So we'll see where he ends up. But, dude, Allen Robinson to go with, and even, like I said, if they cut Woods and bring Odell back or however that works, however that all pans out, I think the Rams just made a hell of a move to bring in I think a really good wide receiver at a pretty fair value for what he came in at.
I mean, especially looking at what Adams just got.
What Adams just got and what Christian Kirk got.
Christian Kirk, dude. Where do we even – do we go to the Jaguars and talk about all their mid-ass players that they overpaid for? Or
I mean – the Jaguars, so just the overall theme of free agency, Jaguars had a lot of money, and they said, you know what, we're going to completely overhaul this roster, and they did with primarily average players.
That's what I'm
saying. I can probably pull up the list of people they've signed. The only one that I really liked was Brandon Scherf, the guard. I think they went out and got the best guard in free agency, but the Christian Kirk deal is one of the worst deals I've ever seen. That you gave all that money to a guy who has never had a 1,000-yard receiver. He's never been a 1,000-yard guy. So they've brought in Darius Williams, the corner. Mm-hmm. They've signed the linebacker from the Falcons. I can't say his name. He led the league in tackles last year. Good tackler, and bringing him in, they released Miles Jack. So, I mean, maybe it's a little bit of an upgrade, but not a massive upgrade. Brandon Scherf, the big signing that I do like. Evan Ingram on a 1-year, $9 million deal. That's whatever. I mean, he's an upgrade at the tight end position for them, but he's not at this point. He's not a great tight end. I think we all know what he is. And then there was the Christian Kirk deal. I want to find the numbers on that because it's Christian Kirk
getting crazy money. I mean, all in all, free agency has been pretty wild.
And Zay Jones. They took Zay Jones.
They paid Zay Jones a bunch of money.
They gave Zay Jones a lot of money
and second per. So that's all. That's their haul.
Yeah, that's their haul.
So
they're doing it all for Trevor Lawrence.
No, I'm saying that.
First and a second. Okay,
they're not getting two firsts. They're only getting a first and a second.
It said 2 prime picks, whatever that meant. So I guess if they're now saying a first and a second, insane. Because the Raiders made the playoffs. So the Raiders first is what, the 20-something pick. Mm-hmm. So no, it's just it's a bad trade by the Packers. But
value-wise, it's whatever. It's just a bad trade. Because of the situation that they put themselves in with Aaron Rodgers. Yes. Whatever value you get from it, it's whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a bad trade because the only reason why you're bringing it was a foregone conclusion. The only reason why you're bringing Aaron Rodgers back was also Devontae Adams because they're 1 and 2. They're Batman and Robin. Now it doesn't matter. I mean, they could have got 4 first, whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because you can't. They're building for the future, but also Aaron Rodgers eating up all the cap. I don't know.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Does not make sense at all. So I guess the biggest news, since we haven't, we talked about it, I think last week though, was Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's back. I mean, I knew that was happening.
Tom Brady's back, so that's upsetting in a lot of ways. Chris Godwin signed yesterday with them, 3 years, $60 million, so 20 per. Pretty team-friendly deal there. I mean, that's going to be a team that with Tom Brady being back, they're going to be able to run it back and be one of the top teams in the NFC again next year. So I'm trying to think, like, I mean, there's just been so many moves.
There's a lot of smaller moves, of course. I guess. So, is it CR7's fault? I mean, yeah. No, I think it's come back.
I mean,
to be fair, CR7 shit on my Tottenham that game, so I'm pretty upset at Cristiano. But everybody knows I'm a Cristiano over Messi guy anyway, so I guess so. A bunch of goats just hanging out. Of course, Harry Kane was there. He's also a goat. But I guess the Bucks win for agency just with getting Tom Brady.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I mean, what was the alternative? Kyle Trask. Yeah. So, I mean, yes, you win free agency when you bring back. I'm not even going to call him that. When you bring back the goat.
But so we're stuck in this fucking time warp of Deshaun Watson and him now deciding where he wants to go. I want to know how many teams can offer what the Panthers can offer.
It's crazy because it's holding up a lot of other things too. So the Browns tried to get into it,
and now look what happened. Baker Mayfield's like, wait, you wanted to get? Now I want out.
So this is the issue. This is what happens when you go in and you start doing that stuff, and it becomes public. And so clearly the Browns wanted in on the Deshaun Watson stuff. It became public. They were very much not trying to hide that fact. Got told today, sorry, you're out. You're not getting Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Now Baker Mayfield says, I want out. So now where are you at as a franchise? Because the reports are that they've told Baker, no, we're not trading you.
Yeah, but
what have you done now? You've broken that relationship, so that's done. And you can say what you want about Baker. Baker's not an elite guy. I don't know what his ceiling necessarily is. We're talking about the Browns. We're talking about the Browns, who have never gotten that position right once, ever.
I just think all of a sudden, I just don't get. You remember, because it was like we're sitting and talking. The Panthers make the most sense for Deshaun. Then makes the most sense for the quarterback position. And now the Falcons jumped in out of nowhere and it's like, we'll get rid of fucking Matt Ryan. Well, fuck Matt Ryan. We'll find somebody to take that mother.
But so this is what's so confusing. So yes, the Falcons have jumped in, and apparently they're one of the front runners to land him. Who the hell is he going to throw the ball to?
Who's going to be left from this trade?
Like, have you seen the Falcons receiving core? They have that Zacchaeus guy who has 54 career catches. And that's it. And Kyle Pitts. They have a tight end. They have a second-year tight end. And their leading receiver has 54 catches.
Remy, what package could they even put together to even be in the talk?
That's my thing. Is like, I mean, if it's me, if I'm Houston, I want Kyle Pitts.
I want 3 firsts of Kyle Pitts. Yeah. They're asking us for 3 firsts and Burns.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. But like, if you're Deshaun Watson, how do you look at that situation and go, "Yep, that's where I want to be."
That's what I want to be.
Who the hell are you throwing the ball to? And they're going to have to give up all the draft capital to get you.
Who are the Saints trading?
So the Saints, it's wild to me. The Saints have gone from $70 million over the cap to under the cap, can afford Deshaun Watson, and haven't released anybody.
Yeah.
So the salary cap's a made-up fairy tale number for the most part. It's crazy. I don't know. I'm looking at it, and the Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers seem to be the front runners for this thing.
Yeah.
And if I'm Deshaun Watson, and I guess it all depends. It depends on what the Panthers are throwing out there. If they're throwing out 3 firsts and whatever else, then I mean that's going to be the better situation. Because what else? You're going to go to the Saints, like you said. Who are they going to have? Michael Thomas? Is Michael Thomas going to be there? Is he going to play again ever? Alvin Kamara is going to probably end up in jail for beating a guy blind. So, I mean, honestly, if you look at it, the Panthers offensively have more to offer than those other 2 teams do right now. So it's a crazy situation, but it's holding so much up because a lot of the talks. So the top tackle in free agency is Teron Armstead from the Saints, and a lot of talks are he's not signing until the Deshaun Watson stuff gets figured out. Because if the Saints get Deshaun Watson, he'll probably end up going back to the Saints. So it's holding up a lot of other stuff. Honestly, I just want it to be over with. If I'm just being honest, I want Deshaun Watson traded.
Dude,
I want that over.
My team's in it. It's either I don't give a fuck anymore. Just get me out. Just please release me like they released the Browns. Just say, hey, Panthers, you make the most sense. Your package was the best, but he just doesn't want to join you and Christian McCaffrey and all in your good defense and none of that. He doesn't like that. He wants to go play for these bad other teams, these other bad teams. So I'm like,
maybe they just have better massage parlors in Atlanta and New Orleans. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the situation looks like.
But I don't know. Like I said though, I'm cool with it either way because I don't give a fuck about the Panthers anymore. Fuck them. No, I do care. We're gonna have, but this is what's gonna happen. The Panthers are going to have Sam Darnold and the whole entire coaching staff, which is a joke. Our owner runs. I saw a tweet that says the Panthers are currently getting run like a strip club in Myrtle Beach. And
that's not good for anybody. Trust me.
No, trust me.
Trust me. That's not good for anyone.
So, whatever the Panthers do, whatever. I mean, we already traded so much away for fucking Sam Darnold, dude. That trade looks so bad. I can't believe I was really.
You were fooled. You were fooled. You sat there after week 1 and you were all on the hype train. You were all on that Sam Darnold hype train. And I just had to sit there and try and pull you back to earth, bud. He's not that good. Not only is he not that good, he's that bad. He's just that bad. And y'all gave up capital and gave him his 5th-year option. You could have been out of this nightmare. You could have been out of it, but you so we're gonna.
I like how Travis literally he only joins in to ask us 2 questions about the Colts and then he's out.
Yeah,
let's go to Travis. Colts next QB. It's going to be Matt Ryan.
Yeah,
it's going to be Matt Ryan. I'm telling you that right now. Yep. Put it down. He's going. Deshaun Watson's going to choose the Falcons, which I don't know how it's going to happen, but that's going to happen. And Matt Ryan is going to go to the Colts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like the most Colts move, though. It's just go get a fly on the wall quarterback and just hope. It's very, very reminiscent of the Phillip Rivers move. Go get an older guy that you hope can piece it together and win with that defense and running game. I think it's the best option, really, is Matt Ryan. The asking price depends.
Baker, you want Baker?
I would take Matt Ryan over Baker, but also Cleveland's not going to move on from Baker. They're going to just shoot themselves in the foot and run an unhappy quarterback out there.
This dog up. You could talk about something. I'll be right back. Come on, get the crate.
But yeah, so I honestly, Travis, to continue to answer your question, I think honestly, I'm not a big Matt Ryan guy, but I think he's better than Baker at this point. The big thing for y'all is you do have to figure out the quarterback position, but y'all need to get somebody to throw the ball to as well. I like Pittman. I like the wide receiver Pittman, but outside of him, there's not a lot of receiving targets out there in Indianapolis. So I would look for it to be Matt Ryan. I think they would give up maybe like a second or a third to get Matt Ryan in the building, because right now it is the worst quarterback situation in the entire league. It's tough, man. I think Sam Ehlinger right now is projected to be the starter, so got to make some moves in the quarterback room if you're the Colts. But I mean, Baker's an anomaly, dude. It's so weird because, you know, he was the first overall pick and he did lead the Browns to the playoffs. So I think from the Browns standpoint, I didn't understand why they tried to burn that bridge so badly. But he's not a guy that I would say you want to give up draft capital to try and go get, because I just don't think his ceiling is high enough to try to do that. I can't pop the questions up on the screen like Terry can, but I see Wes asked, who drafts Pickett? That's a very good question. A lot of these teams are figuring out their quarterback position before the draft, which is kind of strange. So it leaves a lot in flux as to where any of these quarterbacks get drafted. Welcome back, sir. There it is. Who drafts Pickett with Wes's amazing profile picture. I don't know. I don't know where any of these quarterbacks get drafted anymore. Clearly, if the Colts don't make a move, they have to draft one. I really don't know. Pittsburgh just signed Mitchell Trubisky to compete with Mason Rudolph. I don't know if they go quarterback in the draft.
They could draft a quarterback.
I mean, they could, yes, but then it's a weird situation if you got three guys at the same time. I think they're going to wait and see how this year pans out and then draft one next year.
Seattle could take one.
Seattle needs one for sure, unless they end up pulling a trade or something.
I'm almost to the point now, Remy, where I'm like, fuck it. If we're gonna trade all this for Deshaun, let's just draft the Liberty kid, six overall. Fuck it, run it up, Panthers.
It's the conundrum of Deshaun Watson. It's like you get a great player. There's no doubting that, and this is the entire time when Miami was in this. Is like you get a great player, but you have to give up so much to get that great player that you don't have the pieces around him. And I've said it until I've gone blue in the face. As great as Deshaun Watson was, they won 4 football games his last year there as the quarterback because he's not by himself good enough to win you 12 games and get you the playoffs. If you have Deshaun Watson and you're a bad team, you're still going to be a bad team. You're not going to win football games. Yeah. So I get it.
I want it to be over because every day it's like he's deciding where he's going to go. And then they come out. I mean, I don't know how you did this because we've been in this for 4 or 5 days now and I'm losing my mentals.
I was in it for a year and a half.
I know.
It's the most frustrating thing in the world is to sit there for literally forever and just constantly be hounded by it. We literally passed the trade deadline when we can't make trades anymore, and I'm still hearing about it. It's insanity. I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad Miami finally shut the book on it, and now I just need the entire book to shut. I just need that entire thing to shut.
Adam said Baker to the Dolphins to a cut. Hey, you know what? With the Dolphins management, who knows what's going to happen?
Sure.
But I don't know. It just to wrap the whole Deshaun shit up is who knows what's going to happen, really. All of a sudden, this guy went from being an afterthought in Texans to not playing for a whole entire football season to now getting courted like he's Tom Brady. And I'm just done with it. I don't care. He's also a fucking Clemson Tiger. So that's on top of all of it. I don't care. Just join somebody. And the third thing, on top of, it's only my division that's in on him. It's only the NFC South. So it's either he comes to my team or he goes to another team that I'm going to have to play against. Which, like you said, might be good. Their teams will be fucking terrible for the next 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take a minute to rebuild it. So, yeah. Couple of the moves I wanted to ask your opinion on.
Any Dolphins move? Because they're all mid as hell.
I'm going to get my rant in on that. Von Miller.
Miller. I thought Von Miller was going back to Denver.
It hit me when I saw.
I was like, Von Miller just got the dump truck brought to him at this late in his career.
6 years. Now, of course, it's the NFL. 6 years, it's probably only 3 or 4, whatever.
Yeah.
But 6 years, $120 million, 51, I think, guaranteed.
So $51 million is what he's in.
For a guy who turns 33 in 2 weeks.
Remy, why? But if you're Von Miller, why do you sign this? Why do you sign? Bro, he's only going to get 51 million off this deal.
And yes, but I don't think he was going to get 51 anywhere else.
True.
I do. So. I think the Bills just went, fuck it. And I don't know. I just have to imagine. I know the Rams wanted him back, but I have to imagine the Rams don't have that money. So they just had to try to just give him something else to try and pull him out of it. But then the Bills just came in and offered an absurd, because the talk was never the Bills. The talk was the Rams, maybe the Broncos and the Cowboys were the three teams that were talking about Von Miller. And then all of a sudden the Bills come in and say, sure, 6 years, 120. Who cares if you're 39 years old as a pass rusher at the end of that deal? It's insane to me. And it's not a very, that's typically not a move the Bills would make. That's not their forte. They're not a splashy, go overpay people like that type of franchise. But boy, I don't like that contract. But for next year, I have to play the Bills. We don't have a damn right tackle, so it's going to be a problem. But it's just, he had 8 sacks 2 years ago. He had 9.5 last year. He had the really good playoff run, so he did have a good playoff run. I'll give him that. But he's a year older. He's 33 now, and you're basically guaranteeing $50 million over the next 3 to 4 years for a guy who was already showing signs of aging. And I think he's going to age his way out to that being a pretty bad contract by the end of it.
Yeah, bad contract for sure. They're also trying to make that next step, though.
I mean, they drafted Russo last year in the first round, and so now you hope Russo and Von Miller become kind of a tandem there. But I don't know, man. I like the player. I don't love the deal. It's just such a hefty price tag for an older guy who's getting up there in age. Chandler Jones to the Raiders, now paired with Max Crosby. So that's pretty. The Raiders all of a sudden are back in the conversation with those moves, the Devontae Adams and the Chandler Jones move.
Max Crosby's is literally unblockable at times.
Yes.
And it's crazy because as a defensive end, you beat your guy, and most of the time you get one good sprint. Max Crosby is just, he's like inevitable. He just keeps going, and his motor is unbelievable. Reminds me a lot of Jared Allen. Reminds me so much of Jared Allen.
I don't know if I've ever seen a motor like that before. Dude, it's every play.
Every
single play with that guy. He's unreal. He's unbelievable.
That Chargers game where he literally was like, we're sitting there watching it. We're like, they got to double team him. If they don't double team him,
they're going to lose the game.
They're going to lose the game. They wouldn't double team him on first, second, or third down. It'd be 4th and 15. They'd double team him. They'd get the first down.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts watching that guy play football. So I like that move. I like Chandler Jones opposite Max Crosby. I think that's a really good move for the Raiders there.
Cole Beasley to the Packers would be a great fit. They need bodies. I mean, they need
at this point, yeah, they need anyone. Jarvis Landry. I mean, someone.
Him and Aaron, they'll be tag team anti-vaxxing up. So they'll be chilling.
Let's see. What's some of the other big moves? J.C. Jackson.
By the way, I just want to say this now. If I had to put money on Deshaun Watson, it's looking more and more like the Falcons.
Yeah, it is.
So
it's looking more and more like it.
I'm reading stuff, like we're getting stuff in as we speak about it. It's looking more and more like they're trying to restructure his deal, is what some guys are saying on the Watson contract to make it all fit, make it all work. But yeah, so we'll see about all that. Dude, the sports is just my head. It's hard for me to concentrate because currently, right now, as we talk, the South Carolina Gamecock basketball team doesn't have a head coach. We're currently interviewing Sean Miller. I don't know if you see this. We're all in on him, apparently. Caleb's been all over this. He's pretty much my go-to guy about this. Any updates here, Caleb? I saw that he was currently eating at the Chop House or whatever. What's the name of that? Yeah, Hall's Chop House. He's currently eating there. They've been in serious contract discussions. We need to lock him up because if we ever want to be good in basketball, which who knows if that's ever possible, we need to learn how to get down and dirty because that's what college basketball is.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Everyone else is doing it. We might as well do it too.
And the fact that we can even be in the talks with Sean Miller because his resume speaks for itself. He's an insane coach. He got in trouble with cheating. Guess what? You can do it now.
Yeah. You could pay them.
You could pay him. You literally could just pay him. So it's not even the thing anymore. Caleb says insiders are confirming smoke. It's Miller time, boys. All right, Caleb. We'll see. We shall see. Boys. What a crazy time. I feel like I'm just sitting on Twitter like this. And for everything, for baseball, for football, for anything that's happening in the sports world. But I will tell you this: the NFL is a greedy bitch when it comes to headlines.
Right? I mean,
the NFL is such a greedy bitch when it comes to headlines.
We're sitting here. Baseball's back. We've got basically baseball free agency currently going wild. We're in the middle of the playoff push in the NBA, and football just says nope. Nope.
By
Here's
the way,
our free
I'm
agency
seeing a lot of stuff. So apparently, he wanted to play with Carr. Devontae Adams.
Yeah. I mean, Devontae Adams, I don't think it was any secret he wanted to be a Raider. He wanted to play with Derek Carr, their college teammates. So I don't think that was much of a secret as far as
I don't think he
concerned.
wanted it as much. It was just more like, hey, you're not going to give me. You're not just going to continuously tag me while you're paying Aaron Rodgers $60 million. Like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah,
it
is pretty crazy because the report that came out was that the Packers were going to give him the same amount of money, and he just said no.
There's no way. There's how could they even do that?
They cut everyone. You cut everyone else, and you have two players run offense, and that's just how.
Is this 7-on-7?
Yes, in Packers world it is. In the Packers world, it is 7-on-7. Whenever you have a $60 million player that plays the quarterback position, so I don't know, man. Just a ton of big moves out there. J.C. Jackson to the Chargers, I thought was a pretty big move. Especially for the Chargers to have to go make now that the division looks like it's going to be insane. Now he has to go cover Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill. I mean, whoever the Broncos decide is their number one. So great signing for them. Just a ton of moves. I mean, it's tough to get into all of them. Your boys have been very quiet.
Well, I wonder why. We have this cap where we're like, hey, Deshaun, hey, buddy, you want to make a fucking decision so we can spend this money? Hey, thanks. Because we're constantly not re-signing guys because of this. We're signing, Remy, we're signing a bunch of mid-ass players too. Don't worry, it's not just the Dolphins.
Where's the Panthers? I'm pulling it up right now. Panthers you got Deontay Foreman, Brandon Zylstra.
1 year deal. Yeah, we said Brandon Zylstra. God, what are we doing?
Austin Corbett, the guard.
Hey, the guard's a good player.
Good player.
The guard is an actual good player.
Good player.
Like, if you've seen his stats, his numbers are nuts. So we got him on
a. Got Xavier Woods. So you got a safety.
We got a decent safety. I will say for the guard, he's low key a baller. Like, I know a lot of people don't know about him because
he's a guard.
Is a guard, and only you only know about a handful of guards, right? But he's a baller. I thought, I knew we were interested in a guard. Definitely glad we locked that up. I knew the Dolphins was interested in some offensive linemen.
Are we though?
I don't know.
Are we?
Yeah, a lot of reports came out there. Remy, let's talk about the Dolphins.
Are we interested? Because if it were me, I'm backing up the Brinks truck to every free agent offensive lineman out there. And we've signed one so far. And I like the kid. Connor Williams, he played for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Still a younger guy. He rates out really good. His ratings
one of those,
are high.
He started for a lot of injured guys and stuff like that.
He gets a lot of penalties is the issue. So last year he was
a lot of holdings.
15 penalties last year. But he's young. We got him on a really good deal. And he's a massive upgrade over what we were throwing out there. So we made that deal. Now, everything else that the Dolphins have done, to me, we started off the moment free agency started. I get a notification. Like the moment the tampering period starts, Dolphins bring back Emmanuel Ogbah. Great. I'm like, that's like the one dude. Him and Gesicki were the two dudes. I'm like, listen, these are the two guys we need to bring back. Little pricey for Ogbah. It's a little bit higher than I would have wanted to go, but he is a massive piece of our defense.
Yeah.
Gesicki tagged him. He's already signed the tag. Loving where the start of it goes. And I'm like, all right, we have all this money. We have the most money in free agency. And we go, the next move is Chase Edmonds. And I'm like, oh, I mean, okay. I mean, he's an upgrade over Myles Gaskin, but he's still a third down back. He's not an every down guy. I'm like, I get it, I guess. Maybe we move on from Gaskins. I don't know. And then it's Cedric Wilson, the fourth wide receiver, third wide receiver for the Cowboys, depending on who was injured at the time. Young, high upside guy, but I mean, his career high in receptions is 45. So I think he has potential to be good, but he also has potential to just be the next Albert Wilson that we just got done experimenting with. So I didn't love it. I wanted to go get a guy like an Allen Robinson type guy, bring Jarvis Landry back type guy. Nope, we go get a kind of a high potential guy maybe. And then it's just run it back from there. It's just us signing all of our other players. We have signed 4 of our backup linebackers. We have brought back 4 backup linebackers from last season. We have brought in Teddy Bridgewater now to be a backup quarterback, which we need a backup quarterback. I get it. With Tua's health history and stuff, we need a backup, but it's not a splashy move. That's just a sound move. Right. And then we go get fullback, which great. Maybe we're gonna be the 49ers offense. We need a fullback, so we got a fullback. Then we bring back Preston Williams and let Mac Hollins walk. And I'm like, Mac Hollins last year, was a better wide receiver and also is one of the better special teams players in the league. Preston Williams was a bum. So we bring him back. We bring in the 49ers' 5th wide receiver in Trent Sherfield. I'm like, we came into this with the most money in free agency, and we've signed a bunch of role players.
Yeah.
Give me Teron Armstead. Give me La'el Collins. Give me the best offensive lineman in free agency, and we haven't done it. It's like, I don't care. All these names, it doesn't matter. We brought in Raheem Mostert. If he's healthy, who knows what he is. But at the end of the day, none of this matters because we won't be able to block anyone.
Yeah.
It was the death of us last year. It's going to be the death of us next
Literally,
year.
Tua, y'all, you want to wonder why y'all ran a patty cake offense? It's because you couldn't hold the ball but for 1 second.
I mean, it's right as of right now, Jesse Davis is still our starting right tackle. So it doesn't – you could put any playmaker – you could put Devontae Adams' name up there for Miami. It wouldn't mean shit because we can't block people rushing off of the left end at all. And now we have to deal with Von Miller being on the left end there. So he's probably going to eclipse his sack totals from last year because he gets to play us twice if we don't go out and get one of these guys. La'el Collins, while an idiot, while an absolute moron for what he did last year with that failed drug test thing.
But baller. Good
right tackle, cheap price, and we didn't trade for him. We just said, we'll let him hit free agency. He was $10 million. We didn't trade for him. We let him hit free agency, and the reports right now are the Bengals are being more aggressive with him than we are. So it's, I mean, unless we do something drastic, we're not going to get him. And if Deshaun Watson goes to the Saints, we're not going to get Armstead.
Here's the question to me. What do you think it takes to get that guy? A 5th, 6th round pick?
That's what I'm saying. Dallas was moving him. Dallas literally gave up Amari Cooper for a 5th round pick.
You get him in-house, then you restructure his deal.
They would give up La'el Collins for a 6th or 7th round pick. They literally just gave up Amari Cooper for a 5th. They would have taken anything for him. I cannot believe we didn't pull it. We're trying to be cute. We're trying to be too cute. Like, depth. Bunch of depth signings, and we got a special teamer. We need a playmaker, and we need offensive linemen.
Dude, if I'm the Panthers, why would you not trade? We need players.
Anyone. I mean, it's crazy to me. These teams, they just go, yeah, well, he's $10 million if we trade for him, but maybe we get him at 8 in free agency. Yeah, or you just don't get him.
Yeah, or he just goes, I'm going to go play the –
I'm going to play for the team that played in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't love it. You can say all you want. This is just bringing back nightmares of 2 years ago when we had the most money in free agency once again, and we signed a bunch of players that played 1 season, and we had to cut all of them because they were terrible. I'm having flashbacks. This is why when we fired Brian Flores and said we were keeping the GM, I was a little surprised because I was like, first off, if you're going to fire Flores, you should fire the GM because the job he's done is not good enough.
Right.
And if this is what we end up with, it's just not good enough, dude.
I'm reading a tweet that says Hollins gives Raiders a number 3 wide receiver.
Yes. There were games last year where he was our number 2. He was a good receiver for us, and he is a special teams monster. We just signed some other guy. So I can't. Mac Hollins' deal was like 1 year's like less than $2 million, I think. We just gave a guy $3 million for 8 tackles. I had to read this damn tweet. I had to read a tweet that said, we signed, I don't even know the guy's name, but they're like, he's a special teams ace. He had 8 special teams tackles last year. I said, we just gave him $3 million a year. We just gave somebody $3 million for 8 tackles, bro. What, are you serious?
Also, how cool would it be if Odell and Landry played together again?
I mean,
how cool would that be?
I mean, it would be great. Who knows? I mean, at your Packers now, you got to have Jarvis Landry on speed dial, right?
You got to have both these guys.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know, dude. It's crazy. We also got to talk about Miss Tracy in the house, super Uber fan. We also got to talk about how what's his name for the Cowboys, the defensive end, gave him the middle finger. Randy Gregory said I'll sign him as you guys, and then ended up signing.
That's happened.
Denver.
That's happened twice, and that almost pretty much a third time now already. So Randy Gregory got 5 years, $70 million from the Cowboys. Looked like it was pen to paper. Nope, sorry, going to Denver on the same deal, same exact deal. Now the report that I heard, and the reason why he gave Dallas the big middle finger, was Dallas tried to sneak a clause into his contract that said that they could void guaranteed money if he were to get fined by the NFL. Not suspended, fined. So if he were to get a fine from the NFL, they could void some of his guarantees. And he was like, no. No. And Schefter and everybody was tweeting that most teams don't do that. Most teams don't have that kind of clause in their contracts.
Right.
So he got the exact same money from Denver, and now he gets to go somewhere where marijuana is legal. So good for him. Because
he's like, you know what? I'm out.
That was worth more than the money. Gets to go somewhere where marijuana is legal. Now, the same thing happened. J.D. McKissick, the running back for Washington, had agreed to a deal with the Buffalo Bills. Exact same thing. Nope. Backed out, went back to Washington. So he backed out of his deal. Zadarius Smith today, it was reported yesterday he had a deal to go back to the Baltimore Ravens. Came out today and said, nope, backing out of that deal. I'm going back into free agency. So
I was wondering what was going on with that.
Yeah, he backed out of it. He said, nope, I'm just going to go back into free agency. So something spooked him. They put something in that contract he didn't like. So he backed out again. So there are still some really good free agents out there. We're still early into this.
Yeah, we're definitely early into this. This is crazy. So we'll see what happens with free agency. We'll see what happens with Sean Miller and Carolina basketball. Like I said, we have March Madness right now. Basketball is currently stuck in the game. They had to hoist a cheerleader up to get the ball off the top of the goal. Crazy times in sports.
Crazy times.
Like I said, we had a guy
makes sense.
Get knocked unconscious and break a leg, all in one fell swoop. We got a guy chaining himself up to the soccer goal in Everton. We have players just hilariously backing out of contracts. We have the Packers being the Packers, which is just one of the worst ran organizations in the world.
Tom Brady's back. The world's ending.
We have the Indians. They're no longer the Indians. They're
Guardians.
The Guardians. I don't. Guardians, okay. We have the Commanders now in the NFL. I don't know, man. It's just a wild time. Let's see your update.
What
real
a
quick.
time to be alive.
Kentucky's losing to St. Peter's. A team
like
I've
you
never
do.
heard of. A
like
team I've never heard of.
Like you do.
Like you do.
You just lose to teams that we've never heard of. All right, so enough
Baseball.
NFL. If anyone has NFL questions.
Oh, real quick, because we're not going to talk too much NBA. Russell Westbrook getting clowned by the Timberwolves live and in person in the game. Hilarious and pretty classless from the Timberwolves.
It was it was bad, dude. But I mean, honestly, the Lakers deserve it. The Lakers deserve every bad thing that comes to them. They deserve it all. Because I watched that team. Because I'm enjoying the few years I have left of watching LeBron James play basketball. So I watch these games. And the Lakers deserve every bad thing that comes to them. You know why? Because I watched these games in the first quarters. That is a team that does not want to be playing basketball. They don't care. They don't care that they're playing NBA games. They made 3 field goals the other night in the first quarter. 3. They made 3 shots in the first quarter. They had 12 points. They also gave up 48 points in the first quarter the other night. They are so bad, and they don't care. They don't care. No one's out there like giving speeches.
We don't care. That Stephen A. Smith thing.
They don't care. So yes, it's the Timberwolves clowning somebody, which is weird because what have you ever done as a franchise,
right,
in the first place? But honestly, good. Clown the Lakers. They should be clowned. They're a clown show. They deserve to be clowned.
We got a lot of baseball to get into, and we've been talking for 50 minutes. We haven't talked one thing.
This is what I wanted. I wanted to get you in here because I know late last night.
So they tried to be slick, by the way. It's midnight on the East Coast, and they released this bullshit Freddie Freeman trash, garbage, all over Twitter, all over everywhere, saying that he's now, by the way, fuck Freddie Freeman. Let's start off by saying that. I don't give a shit about Freddie Freeman. None of his little kids they always take pictures with. I don't care about that man. Braves legend, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No longer a Braves legend. His legacy is now tarnished because he's going to play 6 years for the Dodgers. I have so many people telling me how I should feel about it, telling me if I'm right or wrong about, Freddie Freeman, we did Freddie Freeman wrong or blah, 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 blah. Listen, it's simple math, Remy. We offered him 5 years, $140 million. He chose a deal, 6 years, $162 million. There's a 5-point-something% sales, tax on his money. There's a 12-something% sales tax, tax in California, income tax. He's making less money a year playing for the Dodgers. So the money is blatant. And I do think this is, okay, I got to get my thoughts together because I think Freddie Freeman was really fucking with the Braves. And I think deep down, maybe he was like, I kind of want to go, but do I really want to leave the Braves? And everyone's going to fucking hate my guts because the Dodgers were the only team in play. His camp kept leaking all these teams to try to bid him up. What happened was the Braves said, we're not playing this game. We know you're going to the Dodgers. We're not going to be stuck like Chuck with no first baseman. So we really blindsided him with the Matt Olson trade, which spiraled his money out of control. He could have got way more than this money. 6 for 162 is like the golden standard. I mean, fucking what's his name for the Rockies got 7 for 180 or something. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this is the golden standard. He is the best first baseman in baseball. I'll give him that. He didn't want to be a Brave anymore. He got slighted that he even went to his final year of free agency. He got upset that he wasn't playing on a deal already. He wanted a 6th year. Like that was the giant deal. No, don't give me that. My man is playing more years, making less money at the end of the day. So you make sense of whatever you want to. You put it together however you want to. He might be sad, whatever. He just joined the team that the Atlanta Braves have continuously been playing in the playoffs in big time games. We were the team that struggled and we couldn't get through them. Then we blew the 3-1 lead to the Dodgers. And that's the year they won it all when we should have won that and we could have won that World Series. So you see the trajectory of the Braves. Made the playoffs lose. Made the playoffs win a series lose. Made the playoffs win 2 series lose. Made the playoffs win the World Series. We are in our prime, bro. And I'm not saying we're going to repeat because it's the hardest thing to do in any sports, repeating baseball. But we are in our window for the next 5 years where we're going to be one of the best teams in baseball. He went and joined the team that we're going to have to beat every year. So don't give me that he loves the Braves and the Braves did him wrong, blah, 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 blah. I'm not here for that, bro. I'm really not here for that. What the Braves did was genius. Anthony Antopoulos is a master at what he's doing. He's probably the best GM. He's the best maybe GM in any sport, to be honest with you. He won the World Series for the Atlanta Braves last year. He did at the trade deadline. You know how much stick I give him for not wanting to pull trades off. He went and got these guys done. He goes out and he gives away 4 good prospects for the 3rd best first baseman in baseball. Okay, let me tell you this. The Yankees were all in on him. The Yankees was all over Matt Olson. They offered them a crazy deal. The Braves deal was a little better. We had to outbid them. Okay, so let's say we wait for Freddie Freeman. By the way, we called Freddie Freeman the day of the Matt Olson trade and asked him to find his final response. Didn't say anything. He just kept it to himself. He did not give us an answer. So we come back and we trade for Matt Olson. What if we wait for Freddie Freeman? By the way, look how far this is into free agency, and Freddie Freeman just now made his decision when there was only one decision to make anyway. So what if we waited for Freddie? The damn Yankees trade for Matt Olson. The Yankees get a deal. They lock him up for 8 years that we locked him up for. And now we're sitting here like, wait a minute. So Freddie Freeman went to the Dodgers. Matt Olson's now a Yankee. We get 1 year of Rizzo. We look like a bunch of idiots. So you can be mad at whoever you want to be mad at. We got an Atlanta kid who took a discount, bro, who took a discount to play for the Braves. You can't tell me that all these years, now that's the ownership, whatever. I don't care. I don't own the Atlanta Braves. I know for a fact Ozzie Albies, he wants to be an Atlanta Brave because he took a massive discount to play with Ronald Acuna. Ronald Acuna signed a 10-year, $100 million deal. My man is top 3 player in baseball, and he makes $10 million a year. He wants to be a Brave. Ozzie Albies makes $4 or $5 million a year. He's one of the best second basemen in baseball. He wants to be a Brave. Matt Olson, bro, we traded for Matt Olson. He flew from he was in Phoenix at the time. He flew from Phoenix to Atlanta and signed an 8-year deal in 24 hours. And not only that, he's the 3rd best first baseman in baseball. His OPS and all the stats are nuts. He's hit the most left-handed on left-handed home runs ever in baseball last year. I don't know if anybody knows that stat. Oh, and by the way, he's only going to get paid $15 million this year in an annual fee every year, $22 million in his prime until he's 35. And we have another option to be 36. So whatever, you can say whatever. We miss Freddie Freeman. Hi, kick fucking rocks, buddy. You joined the Dodgers and I'm done with you.
So I can't top that. Did you breathe that whole time, or like was that just all one?
It was
just
one
long big,
gap.
just one
when
long
we start
breath.
talking about the Atlanta Braves, I can go off. So
there's nothing I can say.
Appreciate you checking us out, guys.
There's nothing that I can say that'll top any of that. What I will say is time heals all wounds. When this goes away, when the sting goes away, and at the end of the day...
in 15 years from now, he'll come back and put a Freeman jersey on, and people will be like, damn, he was good for us. He was the face of our franchise, but he ain't going to be one of the greats.
He won a World Series. He won an MVP. His last hit was a home run. He literally caught the last out of the World Series.
Good for him. But but Remy, my problem is, I'm going to cut you off again. My problem is, I don't want to hear the garbage of, I want to be a Brave forever. I want to be a lifetime Brave. I want to play here forever. I don't want to hear none of that when in reality, you start thinking to yourself and you're like, maybe I do want to go back to LA. He lives in LA.
Yes.
His whole family lives in LA year round.
Yes.
So I get it. I get it from that point. But I don't want to hear this other trash of how you wanted to be a Brave forever. And then you have people questioning AA and our team for us not putting up that 6th year, like trying to divert the attention. Oh, you playing smart, bro. You playing good. But I'm seeing through the bullshit. He wanted to play for the Dodgers. Good for him. I mean, he owes me nothing. He owes me nothing. He owes the Atlanta Braves nothing. But just own up to it. That's all I want him to do.
Yes. At the end of the day, though, when it all comes down to it, when he retires, when he walks away from the game, he's going to be one of those guys that comes back to Atlanta every so often when they have these events. He's going to be, he is, at the end of the day, I know it hurts to say right now, he is a Braves legend, and he will be that when he retires. I mean, some of the greatest players in Braves history still left the team later. Tom Glavine played for the Mets, and he's still considered a Braves legend. Greg Maddux left. These guys leave, and they'll come back, and it'll go away. Right now, I understand, though. It sucks right now because you are going to have to play him in the playoffs. You know that's coming. I will say this. He's gone, but the Braves did literally, like you said, with the Matt Olson deal, may have put themselves in a better position over the long run. We'll see. So on paper,
we'll have to come back to that in 4 years from now.
Yes,
it's reality. When
we'll
know
on paper, it's smart. I mean, you get Olson's 5 years younger than Freddie. I mean, across the board, it's in reality, the smart
though,
deal.
If you're going to lose your best player at that position, can you really argue with getting the third best player at that position in return?
Exactly. So it makes a ton of sense when the trade for Olson and everything, that all makes sense. All I'm saying is that if you are either one of these people, if you are either Matt Olson or Freddie Freeman, you better hope that you are a great baseball player for your new team. Mm-hmm. Especially Freddie. If Freddie goes to LA and struggles.
You remember what happened to Pujols? He literally did the same exact thing. Yes. He won the World Series. He won it for for St. Louis. Cardinals. They cut ties with him. Then he got that crazy deal to play for the Angels, and he regressed.
And to play in LA, and LA didn't give a shit. They didn't care. And so if Freddie goes to LA and starts to struggle, LA will just forget about him. They will spit him out. They don't care. I will say that from that standpoint, Freddie had leniency here in Atlanta. If he's in Atlanta and he struggles, no one gives a shit. He's still Freddie Freeman. He's still all-time great Brave, so he can play poorly and no one cares. Yeah. Like, you want him to play great, but as long as he's in a Braves uniform, you're happy that he's just there. So from that standpoint, he better hope he's good in LA. And for Matt Olson, you better hope you're good in Atlanta.
It's a tough position.
Are always going to compare you to Freddie.
It's a tough spot. It's always going to be a tough spot to come in and replace the legend that was. For Matt Olson, it's easy to say. I really hope he just concentrates on his game. He's clearly gotten better. The fact that he hit 22 home runs on left-handed pitching is absurd in baseball. Barry Bonds hit 21. He beat Barry Bonds for the most ever lefty on lefty home runs. That's nuts. That lets you know he's a guy that's really locked in. He's way more pop. This is what he has over Freddie. He has way more pop. Freddie's an average guy. Freddie's a gap-to-gap line drive hitter. Matt Olson's a power guy. He played in one of the worst ballparks for power in the world. By the way, we have so much baseball to get into. I know for the A's are hilarious. That ballpark's one of the worst ballparks in the world. The fact that they still have to play there is a joke. They've been in discussion trying to get a new ballpark out there for a while.
They're going to leave.
They're going to go to Vegas.
Yeah. Oakland's going to lose all of their sports.
All of their sports to Vegas. So, but yeah, I don't, I'm not even going to say good luck, Freddie, because I don't give a fuck about the Dodgers. You know how much I hate the Dodgers. They're my most hated team in any sport. I hate what they do. They just buy out the whole team. Their whole entire team is all-stars. They have 4 MVPs. And guess what? They've only won 1 ring. And that was the lockout. That was the closed doors, behind closed doors year. And they barely won that year. They had to beat Atlanta 3 straight games to do that. So we'll see. They have to stay healthy. Their pitching is not as good as it was last year. So they still need pitchers. They have a great lineup. I mean, everyone's like, who's going to beat this team? This is a Galacticos team. They have this team every year. They literally had the same exact team this last year. They had this same exact team, Remy. But now they add Freddie Freeman, but they lost Corey Seager. And Corey Seager raped the Braves all the time. He destroyed us. So thank God he's not on there anymore. But all in all, what the Braves have done, I'm going to get more concentrated on what the Braves have done in the free agency, is just go out and get the third best first baseman in baseball, lock him up to an 8-year deal. Okay. And then we get Eddie Rosario back on a $9 million deal for $9 million, 2 years, $9 million each year. Absurd discount there. How's this man not making $15 to $17 million a year? I have no clue. We get a lefty back. People forget Ronald Acuna didn't play last year when we won the World Series. And there's a DH now. Oh, and you know who else didn't play? Marcell Ozuna didn't play last year. Oh, and reports are coming out today, just 10 minutes ago. We're in heavy talks to sign Jorge Soler back. I don't know where he's going to play, but we're trying to bring him back. So the Braves will be fine. The Braves are still one of the best teams in baseball. We have an insane team. Austin Riley's only going to get better. You saw what he did last year.
Mm-hmm.
This lineup fucks. The Braves lineup fucks. That's what they always say on Twitter, and it's true. And I just want Braves Nation, Braves country, to just believe that we're going to be okay. Charlie Morton's back already throwing. He broke his leg. We won without him. We had Max Fried get his ankle stepped on, and we won. He pitched 6 innings on that. So I just think we're going to be a good baseball team. Yeah. I don't. If you had to pick a favorite, I would pick the Dodgers. Every year, the Dodgers are probably the favorite. But I just think what AA has done with this baseball team and some of the signings, where our bullpen is rock steady. We went and got a right-handed pitcher from the Rays, McHugh or whatever his name is. His stats and metrics are off the chart. Can't really ask for anything else for Atlanta. I will say I think we've won. I think we won free agency, but there's been a lot of weird things go on in free agency. There's still a lot of guys that's not even signed. Castellanos. I mean, the free agent pool was nuts this year. We got to start with saying that. For pitching, not so much, but for batting was crazy. We had, Chris Bryant. So everyone in baseball world, I know you maybe not follow. Chris Bryant signed this mega deal.
Yeah, I saw the deal.
to sign with the Rockies. This is the same Rockies team that just let Story walk. Did not even offer him a contract. They re-signed Arenado to that deal and then paid $51 million for St. Louis to get him. They literally said, we're trying to blow it up. We can't even afford to pay him right now. Here's Arenado. Here's $51 million. And now they're out here splashing on. Now, don't get me wrong. Chris Bryant is a great player. He's not a star. Chris Bryant's not a star. So it's just super weird what the Rockies are up to. Nobody in the baseball world knows what they're up to. Nobody knows what the Cubs are up to. The Cubs just traded away everybody. And then they signed the Japanese guy for 5 years, $85 million. They gave all that money to Marcus Stroman, who, don't get me wrong, Stroman's a great pitcher. He's probably a 3. He's probably your third best, should be your third best pitcher. So there's that. I did like some of the moves. With the DH being universal, Kyle Schwarber got paid 4 years, $79 million. That's big time money for Schwarbombs. He goes to the Phillies. Baseball is weird because could you imagine, Remy, being an Athletics fan or a Reds fan? Reds voted no against all the baseball stuff. They wanted the lockout to continue. And it's weird. And all of a sudden, their last vote was yes. Then they come straight into free agency and get rid of everybody. They get rid of their entire team because they said, you know what? If we're going to have baseball, we're just not going to have players. We're just going to get rid of every player.
I saw their 6th highest paid player right now is Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
And he hasn't played for them in 15 years.
So you have Jesse Winker going out to the Mariners. The Mariners are going for it. They have a good-ass team. He's a baller. I mean, I do keep up with it a little bit.
What happens when the Reds play the A's this year? Is that are people allowed to go watch that game or like?
I have to calm down eventually. Baseball,
because those are not professional teams.
Let me tell you this. So tomorrow, I'm going to watch the A's play the Angels. Right? I'm looking for a West Coast team to watch to pull for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find a West Coast team to go along with my Atlanta Braves. There's one requirement: you can't be in the NL. You have to be in the AL. So I always kind of pull for the White Sox, but they're in Chicago. So I kind of want a team really out here on the West Coast. Michael and my dad and everybody's like, you should pull for the Angels. The Angels have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. I think I'm an Oakland A's fan.
No.
And let me tell you why.
Don't do that to yourself.
They're
not even going to be in Oakland soon.
My first ever baseball hat I've ever owned, I was on the A's T-ball team, and we wore the Oakland A's uniforms and hats. And they're going to be terrible. So I think I'm going to be an A's fan when literally there's only about 100 of us out there. I think I'm getting a Matt Olson A's jersey is what I'm going to do.
Don't
Remy,
do it.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I've been in discussion with the A's. I'm locking up my fandom. I love what they got going on out there. They have nobody. They don't have anybody.
They might put you on the payroll for being a fan.
Next year, Remy, they have $1 million on the payroll. Everybody else is arbitration guys. They've traded away the entire team. They're not done yet, by the way. They still have 2 great pitchers that are trading away. But they just got Christian Pache. And he's gonna bat 200 and play center field all year. And I'm gonna get his jersey. And I'm gonna get an A's hat. And your boy is gonna be an A's fan out here. And when they eventually move to Vegas, that's even closer to me. So I get to go see him play when they go to Vegas.
Oakland lost the Warriors, the Raiders. Now they're going to lose the Athletics. It's just amazing.
Dude, I don't understand how an ownership could look their fans in the face and be like, all right, guys, we want to see you on a Tuesday at 1:00.
That's the toughest part.
To play the Twins. You know,
that's the toughest part to me is like, if you own a team, if you run a team, if you're the general manager, if you're the coach, if you're anything, you clearly you want to win, right? Like you're not just out there. But baseball owners, I don't think do. I don't think most baseball owners care that much about winning. They just care about bringing in a profit.
So the A's traded Chris Bassett, their best pitcher, to Mets. They traded Matt Olson, the 3rd best first baseman in baseball, to the Braves. They traded away probably. If you had to ask Oakland A fan who is their favorite player, it would probably be Matt Chapman, the 3rd baseman. Gone. He's gone to the Blue Jays now. And their reports are, they interviewed them all after they got traded, and they're all like, "We really wanted to re-sign with the organization, but they said they couldn't pay us."
I mean, there's just no way. They don't care to win. They're just there to make money, bro. Clearly, you're not even throwing out a roster at this point, man.
So
watch we say this, and they end up winning 80 baseball games just because we don't know anything.
Out for Ian Rapp, thank God. Yeah, he's going to Atlanta, I'm telling you. But you know how other sports for basketball, they make you where you can't just tank. They try to, at least. They're not doing any help. Look at the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder team is literally a G League team. But they're baseball, they don't give a fuck, dude.
No.
But you know what? I respect it, Remy. I respect it because for these small markets,
you're about to be an A's fan. You'd respect it?
I'm all in. I'm all in on the Moneyball. I'm about to go watch Moneyball when I get off to get in the right mindset. But think about this. These teams who can't afford to pay, because the league does nothing for these teams. They have no salary cap. They don't care if these teams are any good. Remember when the Royals had their run? These small market teams, they have to break it all down and just hope everything sticks together for about 5 years to get a shot. And then they break it all down again. Remember the Marlins? When they won? Twice, and they got rid of everybody twice.
I mean, yeah, I get it. It's just tough. How the fuck are you supposed to be a fan? How are you supposed to be a fan of a
I'll tell you how.
team when you go, listen, dude, listen. For 10 years,
You got to
we
really.
are going to be unwatchable.
No,
We're
I'm
going
gonna
to be
watch
for
the A's.
10 years. We are going to be unbearable to watch. We're going to lose 100 games a year, but we're going to have a 2-year window, baby, where we can win playoff games. And if we don't win the World Series in those 2 years, it's another 10 years of us being terrible. I don't understand how you run an organization like this.
Baseball, baby. Baseball. By the way, just on a personal note, I am going to spring training game. I'm going to watch Shohei Ohtani tomorrow. I don't know if he's playing or not, but I'll be in the stadium. They're playing the A's, so of course I'll be rooting for my A's in that one. So we're going to that at 1:00 tomorrow. Saturday, I think I'm gonna go to the Cubs Padres spring training game. I'm gonna try to go to a couple of weeks till it's gone, just to try to. It's cool to see the players and stuff like that. They're all here in the city. So we're going to do that. Also, next month, I'm going out to San Diego. We're planning a trip, me and Camille. We're going to go to watch the Braves play the Padres on April 15th. The 15th and 16th, we're going to go that Friday and that Saturday game and come back Sunday. So look forward to that. Also, I think we're going to meet up with Colby because he lives out there in San Diego and go eat, and he's going to come to some ball games and stuff too. So that's going to be fun.
No Tatis for you.
No, and that's good because fuck Fernando Tatis. My man's like, I got in multiple accidents. Like what? But so I call Michael, right? And Michael's a big baseball guy. Me and him talk forever about it, really. I mean, we just sit there and we talk about all the stuff. He follows it like I follow it. And I'm like, all right, Mike, so how about this date, April 15th? He goes, I'm going to be flying back to South Carolina. I think I'm in a wedding. I said, okay, how about this date? Braves play the Diamondbacks. He goes, I think I'm going to be flying to Philly that week. She's going home to see her family. I'm like, Michael, are you the president of the United States? Like, what is going on? And then I call Colby, right? So I call Colby to tell him, hey, we're planning a trip. He goes, hey, I can't hear you right this second. I'm going to call you on a different phone. It's okay. He calls me on his girlfriend's phone. And we're just sitting there chatting. And he goes, dude, that'd be awesome. We'll see each other. We'll go out. We'll go to some good bars. We'll have some drinks. We'll have a good time. He goes, yeah, when I get back in the United States, we'll really sit down. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I'm in Spain right now. I'm like, y'all just do the most. Some of our friends just literally, you see the life in a magazine or a movie, they're living that life. So
I can't leave Colombia because I can't afford gas.
Yeah. So if you're punching the clock, Remy, just if you're opening somebody's account up, just remember that one of us, there's a friend group, somebody in the friend group is just living their best life. So
it's just traveling the world. That's great.
The world.
That's fun to hear.
I was like, you're in Spain? Okay, sure. Why not? But yeah, all together, a lot of baseball happened. A lot of baseball's going on. Baseball's back. I know I see everybody leaves when I start talking about baseball. So it is what it is. But they probably didn't tired of hearing me.
Listen. This is what I wanted. Like of course, clearly I'm bigger into the NFL free agency stuff, but the swing of emotions from you from the moment the Matt Olson, because you called me right after the Matt Olson trade and you were down bad. Like I could hear it in your voice. Your Panthers weren't doing anything.
So I thought kind of going to that. Matt Olson for 2 years was steep. That was a steep asking price for the prospects we gave up for 2 years of Matt Olson. That was where I was at with it. I liked the deal. I understood the deal. It was more like an understanding that, hey, this has got to happen.
I'm just saying, from an overall standpoint.
Dude, if you could have seen me that next day, though, when I woke up to
that's
the Matt
what I'm saying.
Extension,
when he signed the extension, you went from here to here in a day. It was wild. And just everything that's happened today with the Freddie Freeman news and the back and forths that we've had amongst friends. This is what I wanted to see. This is the admission price that I paid for, was to listen to Terrence Beard go off on the subject of not baseball, but the Atlanta Braves and the state they're in. Like I said, bud, y'all will be fine. Freddie leaving is Freddie leaving. It's not the end of the world. The Braves are going to be a National League contending team. They very well are in that World Series window. So it's not the end of the world. It's going to hurt seeing him in a Dodgers uniform. But at the end of the day, you also have a World Series to try and defend. So,
for sure.
It's not like losing him and all of a sudden you're trash. Like, that would be different.
Yeah, like I said, I think time, like you said, cures all wounds. And also just watching the Braves play. It's going to be different. But Matt Olson's a sexy dude. He's a handsome guy at first. He wears a sleeve. He hits bombs. Dudes hit nukes, so we'll be okay. We're going to talk about Mr. Positive Vibes. Welcome back.
Welcome get out of back. Here,
talk a little Wisconsin. I think they're going to go far in the bracket. I mean, as you see today, who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? I haven't watched enough, to be honest. I haven't watched enough. But how many white dudes do they start in Wisconsin this year?
I do. I have watched a couple Wisconsin ball games. They have a good ball club. They have a really good team. They're 3 seed for a reason. They'll beat Colgate. You just got to hope Colgate don't come out and just strike a fire. You know, these weird 14, 15, 13 seeds, they could shoot. You know, the reason why they're here is because they could shoot the piss out of it.
Yes,
but I think Wisconsin probably, if I was a betting man, I think I had them going to the Sweet 16.
What was it? Was it Sam Decker and Frank Kaminsky?
Yeah, that was a good.
That was my.
I mean, as you see right now, Kentucky's going to overtime with a team called St. Peter's.
They went 19-11. They're taking Kentucky to over. What happened to Kentucky, man?
Bro, to be fair, their talent has not been there. Like, if you watch Kentucky play ball, they don't have those.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, every year, a couple, 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was every year they had insane elite talent, like all over the place. Every position would just be loaded with talent, NBA players. And then here the last couple of years, it's just not been the case. Like, they're a good basketball team, don't get me wrong. But Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, the list just went on and on with just ridiculous NBA players that they had there for a while. So who's winning the tournament? You're on the spot. You have one team to pick. Who's winning the NCAA tournament?
I'm trying to remember who I picked. I think I picked I had 2 brackets. Teams I really like Tennessee. I think I had them winning one, maybe. They're a 3 seed. I really like Arkansas. I've watched a lot of Arkansas. I had them going really far. I had Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga's they're going to bounce back. I had Gonzaga winning in one of mine. So we'll see. But, hey, I will say this has been fun. Please relate back to this episode if you want to hear the Freddie Freeman rant again. I really just off the domed it. It was great. And it
was everything we wanted.
We started with me saying that I wanted to be done with this Deshaun Watson thing. Reports now are official. He is not going to go to the Panthers. So, Sam Darnold, let's fucking run it, buddy. We traded picks. We might as well use your ass. Not only did we trade for him, we gave him that giant deal immediately. Like, you know what? We're going to take. Dude, I saw a tweet and it was Sam Darnold's great spirals, and it was just him throwing picks.
Who is Deshaun Watson going to throw the football to?
He's going to the Falcons.
Who's he throwing to? Who is he throwing the football to?
I don't know.
They're going to be so bad.
I don't know. Hey, Caleb, while you're in here, keep me up to date in the Twitter group. I want to know about the Miller shit. I see a lot of stuff going on right now. He's probably going to be the next basketball coach. I hope, because we fucking suck. Also, we didn't get to talk about Carolina football, which we'll talk about that next time because we have spring training coming back. we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs, which I refuse to talk about basketball until it's playoff time, and then I'll only talk about NBA basketball. I promise. So yeah, we'll go back to maybe putting up some polls. Who's better, Luka Doncic or Trae Young? No, I'm just kidding. Fucker. But yeah, man, it's just fun. We had a lot of shit go down. Wild episode. Wild times. Great times to be sports. I'm about to go downstairs and see what's going on for dinner and watch some more basketball, college basketball. So we appreciate each and every one of you guys for checking us out. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Share. Please. I mean, I know that y'all have some buddies that just looking for somebody to read. We'll sit here and talk with you. I'll call you on my phone and we'll talk. Shit, I'll talk to anybody about sports.
We'll put you on speakerphone. We'll let you jump in the show.
So, share it. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. And I hope we brought the heat. I'm glad everybody chimed in. It was a fun episode. You got anything to tell you before you get out of here, Remy?
I just so excited, man. It was a great week in sports.
So excited.
Across the board. What a fantastic week for me. I'm literally on my phone all the time, about to get in trouble at work, refreshing Twitter.
I'm telling you.
Praying that my team makes a move, and I'm sure most of you out there.
And then you get Mozart. So
yeah, he's gonna be dope for that one half, though.
Yeah. Oh, for till he gets hurt, he's gonna be good.
Yeah, that one half will be insane. And then he'll be done for the year.
And then you'll have third down running back too.
We'll have 3 third down running backs and another fast guy named Wilson that hopefully is better than the last fast guy named Wilson. So yeah, I'm excited though. Still time left. Still a lot of great players out there. And of course, baseball's back and NBA playoffs coming soon. Absolutely ecstatic.
Let's go, Braves!
In sports.
Let's fucking go. All right, boys. We'll holler at y'all later.